Hi, I'm John Olmsted, Director of Surgical Services in the Emergency Department here at the Community Hospital in Munster, Indiana, where me and my partners created the world-class 30-second employee evaluation. Like most hospitals, we at the Community Hospital use a universal employee evaluation which grades the employee on how well they embrace the core values of the mission and vision of the hospital. We, of course, agree that it's very important for the employees to embrace these values, but they leave a lot of gray area when it comes to doing their annual evaluation. Here's an example of what we're talking about. Dignity, for instance, is an important value to be sure, but just how can we coach an employee to exceed expectations in dignity? The problem we run into is when employees ask us to define what exceeds or falls below expectations. Vague overall categories don't really help us do this. We wanted a more exact tool that would help employees understand exactly what the expectations were and help managers be more consistent in their ratings of employee strengths and weaknesses. So this is what we came up with: an evaluation with 3 sections: teamwork, patient care, and job preparation. We spell out exactly what our expectations are and define what exceeds or falls below these expectations. The best way to illustrate the tool is to use it. So let's do a quick evaluation on a pretend employee, John Doe. John Doe has been employed 7 years in the department. He occasionally receives compliments from some physicians. He has had some negative incidents with other coworkers. He's received a verbal warning for attendance. Although he's extremely flexible with his schedule, he takes much more call than all the other employees. He's very proficient in the OR, though he does continue to have some poor charting practices. Let's perform his eval. Page 1 is the teamwork section, where we look at how the employee works with physicians, coworkers, leadership, other departments in the hospital, and performs how well they perform their after-hour expectations. As we said before, John receives compliments from physicians, so we'll rate him on that. He's also had problems with coworkers, so that falls below expectations. That does not meet our expectations. His relationship with the department, leadership, and also with other departments in the hospital are fine, so he meets expectations in that respect. Displays a positive attitude. As of his after-hours expectations, he accepts a much higher amount of on-call time, so he definitely exceeds expectations. I really look hard at that because most evaluations ignore that point, and it's a huge benefit to the department to have someone that likes to pick up a bunch of call. Page 2. This looks at patient care, how well they do patient care, and in terms of customer service, patient safety, and the work that they do. When it comes to autonomy and self-sufficiency, John meets expectations. Autonomy is how much attention he needs from management to do his work, and self-sufficiency is how much attention he needs from his coworkers to do his work, and he performs work as directed in both those instances. He has had some charting problems, and so we'll put him as he does not meet he routinely misses key charting elements. So that's a problem. In terms of customer service and patient safety, he meets expectations, so no problems there. Page 3 is the job preparation section. On this page, he meets expectations in terms of being prepared for his cases. He has had a verbal warning issued for attendance, and he meets certification expectations, and he's trained in the general duties of his job. He hasn't accepted charge nurse duties or cross-trained other areas, but that's above expectations. So he meets our expectations in that respect. There's a bonus section I like to put because we don't require specialty certification, but it's always great when an employee gets that. So he doesn't have specialty certification and he doesn't participate in his professional association, but that's not a requirement, that's above expectations. So in terms of that, he meets expectations. So in summary, for the most part, John does meet our expectations. He has 1 exceeds, 1 rating of above expectations, 11 meets, and 3 does not meet. None far below. As you can see from a quick overview of the pages, it provides a nice visual summary of John's performance. above average in some areas and other areas that need improvement. So, an overall evaluation is that John mostly meets expectations. He should probably get the average raise that most employees get. We're going to complement the above average and the exceeds expectations that he gets. And we're also going to set as a goal for next year for him to work on the areas that he does not meet. Sometimes employees violate standards to the point where we as managers have to perform an intervention with them. This evaluation tool really helps in this respect because you can use it to illustrate exactly where their behavior falls on the scale and exactly what your expectations are. We've used this a lot and it's very, very helpful. The far below expectation section defines many of these deficiencies. Let's look at page 1, the teamwork section. Frequently far below section says they're frequently receiving complaints from physicians or coworkers, or they're deriding or interfering with department leadership. That's a good one. Frequently receiving complaints from other departments, or they're not meeting their basic holiday or on-call expectations. All those far below expectations, and the employee needs to immediately cease and desist and move into the meets expectations section. Page 2 carries this on in terms of the patient care they perform. If they're constantly needing prompting from leadership, so they're failing in autonomy, that's far below expectations. Self-sufficiency, if they're constantly being a drag on their coworkers instead of doing what they've been trained to do, that's below expectations. Obviously, accuracy and performance, if the managers are constantly needing to correct their performance, that's got to go away. Customer service, enough said on that. Patient satisfaction, of ultimate importance in all hospitals. And of course, patient safety speaks for itself. And again, this tool just outlines what our expectations are very clearly. The third page finishes this out, and not being prepared for their cases, or if they're receiving written disciplinary actions from management, or failing to keep up mandatory certifications that are expectations of the job. For all these sections, the evaluation does a great job in describing exactly what managers expect. Me and my partners have used this 30-second eval to great success. For copies of the 30-second evaluation, just email me at john@managingpartnersllc.com, or you can go to the website we put together, managingpartnersllc.com, and you can download it from that website. Take care.